Hi there! How you doing? I'm Anthony Wilson from Anthony's GC Films and content creator of Spartan Highlights. And wow, it's been 2 years of Spartan Highlights and GC Films, and it has been a blast just working on it. And I just want to thank all of you for all of your love and support for the past 2 years of Anthony's GC Films, and a lot of memories have been made, preserved, and even though a lot of people tell me how I preserve their memories, you have made memories for me, and they are memories that I could never forget. And with that said, it is now time to talk about the future, your questions for me. A lot of questions I've received were very similar, so I'm going to be reading 4 questions here, and let's begin. So our first question is, why do you have the passion you do for making, editing, and producing Spartan Highlights? The passion honestly comes from the fan response. You know, a lot of you guys really came forward for your support of the series, and quite honestly, when we started working on this back in 2016, I did not think it would blow up to the behemoth it has become by 2018, and it has just been great. So that's why I had a passion for making Spartan Highlights, is because a lot of you guys really loved it, and when you make something as a content creator and people love it, then it encourages you to do more. So it was kind of like, I guess you can call it like a break, in a sense. You know, it was the first series I had that really kicked off and resonated with people, and the only other thing I could really think of that resonated with a lot of people that came to me personally about it even years later was a short that me and my friend made, my friend Riley, who you might have seen on my other channel, Films of Awesomeness, which is now called FOA for obvious reasons, because no one can remember how to spell that, so changed it to that. Anyways, that's slightly irrelevant. But with that said though, I remember when I was filming soccer for the second year of Spartan Highlights, one of my close friends, Giordano Roberto, came up to me and asked, "Hey, you ever gonna do a follow-up to that Night Shift film that you did 2 years ago?" And I said, well, I mean, Riley won't shut up about doing a sequel, so, you know, we'll see what happens with that. And for those who are curious about that skit, I'll leave it in the description below, which if you want to check that out. As far as a sequel is concerned, it's been tossed around, but it's likely not going to happen, at least anytime recent or in the near future. So yes, we thought about doing a follow-up for that, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to happen, at least in the near future. But anyways, back to Spartan Highlights though. I mean, there was a lot of memories that I have of recording it. And probably one of my most favorite memories was when I was recording baseball for season 1, and I go onto the field, and the Spartans are stretching out, and all of a sudden they start yelling, "Challenger approaching!" And they're just doing the siren and yelling "Challenger approaching." It was so funny. I just loved it. That was great. The other thing too that helped me with the passion for Spartan Highlights is that I wanted to make something that none of any of the other schools from Section 5 had. And while I was looking up videos, our schools had videos, but they didn't really have sports highlights. At least none publicly on YouTube or any site I could find. So, with that said, you know, Spartan Highlights, although I don't think it would be the first highlight reels from Section 5, it was like its own entity in a sense. You know, when when I saw highlight reels of other high schools, whether it be from Texas or from Carolina or wherever, a lot of them felt the same. It was just a 20-minute montage of a sport. Spartan highlights, you have challenger approaching screen, you have the big music, the the unironic or the ironically happy music from season 1 when the Spartans lost. But yeah, and also we were the first athletic division in Section 5 to embrace 4K video, which I take to heart. I haven't seen really any from Section 5, any videos that were in 4K, and I always saw 4K as the future. So, with that said, I always felt that we should push some videos into 4K, and those videos have received very well, like the Seniors vs. Faculty video, the last of the trilogy, which was in 4K, and also some of the basketball episodes, I believe, went up in 4K. The sectional episodes went up in 4K, and yeah, and those I felt were, not sure I would really call it groundbreaking, but it's a new realm that a lot of Section 5 schools haven't really embraced as far as sports entertainment is concerned. So I'm really glad that I was able to make that opportunity to give the Gage Shallai 4K content. Even though granted it was very limited because my hardware was very limited and it didn't, and the computer I edited with 4K originally hated 4K. So trying to edit 4K on my old computer, which was a Dell Inspiron, was hell. But when I got the Asus computer, which I edited a lot of the later videos, that handled 4K a lot better because it had better processing, and also better RAM, had DDR4 RAM, while my old computer had DDR3. So overall, it was just a better editing experience with 4K. But with that said, though, I felt that with Spartan Highlights, it gave me enough experience to get better at editing, and also try out new things such as 4K. And I'm glad that it turned out very well for a lot of Spartans, and that people still remember the, not really still remembers, I don't want to say still remembers series, because the series only ended very recently, at least our second season ended very recently, but how it resonated and stayed relevant, and actually became more relevant in the succeeding years, and that was incredible. So, hopefully that answers your question of why I have the passion for Spartan Highlights. But overall, it was just a fun 2 years. One thing I will say though is towards the end, one of the problems I had with Spartan Highlights was it's extremely repetitive, and the reason why it was is because I had regular school stuff to worry about. I couldn't work on videos all the time. Especially with Doc, for example. Doc, as many of my seniors know, is a very time-consuming course, and if you're not a senior yet, then you're gonna figure out how time-consuming it can be. But with that said, though, thankfully we got a majority of the videos out. I know a lot of people were asking for a second unified video, which I do have the footage for, but honestly, with a lot of things wrapping up, I haven't worked on that yet. I will be working on a unified video on the side, and it'll come up when it comes up, because I don't want to rush out a unified video and be garbage. I do want to make it somewhat good, and that's what I kind of felt too with some of the spring sports. Even though the coaches and the players really liked the spring episodes, I felt it wasn't the best it could be. I felt it could be done a lot better, but given the circumstances, there wasn't much I could really do about it. But with that said, though, I'm glad they still liked it. But personally, I think the spring sports could have been better. And as I said, towards the end, they did get a bit repetitive, but I still enjoyed making them. And with your support of the series, made me realize how important it was to make this series continue. And now for the next question. Will you record in the fall? Well, I'll record something probably, I'm going to Disney in August, so there might be some Disney footage, there might be some short film footage. I'll probably be recording something, because I need to do some kind of video. What I record specifically, I don't know. I know MCC's starting in the fall, so I might get a few projects from MCC to work on during the fall. And also, me and my friend Riley, who I've mentioned earlier about Night Shift, we experimented with a podcast. We have one episode up of the podcast, and it didn't go too well because the podcast, the audio was just all over the place, and we need to figure out how to make the audio a bit more stable. So they might be working on that over the fall, of trying to get that podcast together. And outside of that, I might make a few side projects for films. I am thinking of going back to doing reviews, which is what I originally wanted to do when I started doing YouTube and want to get into filmmaking. I want to be the next angry video game nerd back then, but today I might do maybe some few side reviews just to change things up a little bit. I do want to do some short films as well, which I'll get to that in a moment, because I do actually have plans as far as short films are concerned, but we'll get to that after this question. How did you initially get involved in making episodes of Spartan Highlights? Well, how Spartan Highlights started, it started as Senior Verse faculty, kind of. Here's what happened. So in 2016, we released Basketball Wars, and this was a part of an assignment for video art, which was a class that Gates Charlie used to have, but then they got rid of it. And in my end of the year conference, which I'll go into more detail later, the course might come back for next year or the year after. We don't know. That depends on what the interest is. But I had it in the last year it was provided until they got rid of it. And with that said, one of the project was Basket Wars. So me, Molly Peninsula, and Mr. Donio, we went out, we filmed it, and we used mostly Molly's footage with some of mine, and I helped a lot with the editing process, and we burned it onto about 50 or so DVDs. And when we finished the video, it was known, but it wasn't really promoted all that much. Now, we only showed like some coaches, some of the players, so people had it, but it wasn't widespread. And then one person who did get a copy was Jason Benham, or Coach Benham, who is the coach of the varsity football team. And he saw it, he was very interested in it, and I had him as a PE coach. He comes up to me and asks me if I want to record football. And I say, okay. So that means in the 2016 to 2017 season, there will be Spartan football. In fact, if you actually go into the first few episodes of Spartan Highlights, you actually will not see the term or the title Spartan Highlights, because at that time, I thought I was just doing football, because only Benham came up to me about recording sports. And before I made that first episode, when they faced off the Hornets at it was the Syracuse Stadium, if I remember correctly. Before I made that video, I was trying to figure out how I would go about this, because I did not give a damn about football in my entire life. So I didn't know how to really go about this, but it was a job, so I looked up some football things, watched a few NFL films, and got a gist of what football is. So when I got the footage for that first game, I was like, okay, the score is pretty bad. So we need to figure out how we're going to show this. Now, me not knowing much about football, bad plays sometimes could be a bit hard to tell for me, because I don't know. I was unfamiliar with the sport, so what I ended up doing was I would just show tackles or touchdowns. I didn't show anything else. Or maybe if a guy had a ball for a really long time, I would show that. But I wouldn't show him getting tackled. I'll just show his long running distance. And with that, surprisingly, especially with teachers of Gates Challenge, got fooled throughout the video thinking that the Spartans won that game. And after I released more and more football episodes, I remember one teacher, Mr. Resman, comes up to me and he says, how do you trick me every single time? Because every single time I watch one of these football videos, I thought they were going to win. And then I get pissed off at the 3-minute mark when you show the score. So that was hilarious, and although I'm not sure if that effect really carried on to the second season, I think people caught on to my tricks on the second season, but people still love the videos. But that's how it would make all the highlights, even if they weren't quote unquote highlights. Like, for example, let's say a Spartan tackles a hornet, and the hornet gained 40 yards. That's not good. But if you showed a tackle, you don't know how long that hornet went. So if you only see the tackle, then you're just left to assume, he may not have went very far. You don't really know. If I showed you that entire clip, then it would look bad. So that's how I would run Spartan highlights for most of the sports and most of the games. And it worked out well. People really enjoyed it, and some of them were even surprised that the videos were even 5 minutes long, since some of the games were very hard to cover. But granted, a lot of people really liked it, and that's at the end of the day what counts. So yeah, that's how Spartan Highlights started, and I know I went on a little bit of a side tangent here, but after football, I thought, okay, when football's done, then I need to move on to something else. But when football was just about over, I get a call from Mr. Amesbury, or Coach Amesbury, who at the time was the varsity basketball coach. He said, hey, I like those football videos, think you can do it for basketball? And at the time, I was a bit hesitant, because I didn't watch basketball either. Granted, basketball is a lot simpler, and making highlight rules for that is a lot easier, because there's not as many rules in basketball as there is in football. But with that said, though, the reason why I was hesitant, because at that time, there was a commission pending. It was the first quote-unquote commission I would get, which was from the fire department. They asked the high school if there's a videographer or filmmaker to go out and film something for them, and they called Mr. Hamill, and they says, yeah, I got a guy. So then he calls me, right? And I remember it was, I forgot if this was late summer or on a weekend before basketball starts, but I get a call from Hamill when I'm at home. He's like, Anthony, the fire department needs you to record something. And here I am half asleep being like, okay, alright, great. It's tell Fireman Joe and whoever to call me back and we'll discuss whatever. So, but again, so I had handled my contact information, and Fireman Joe was made aware of me being available. At least as far as I know, he was. Which, who knows? Maybe he wasn't. I'm not 100% sure. And who knows? Maybe Fireman Joe wasn't even involved in the whole Fireman video thing. But the thing that I took away from it was that it never went to fruition. You know, I never got any calls from the fire department, and Hamill said he didn't receive anything either. So they probably just hired a professional to do it, or they ditched the whole project in general. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but all I know is I didn't get to do anything with the fire department. So when that came through, I said, okay, I guess we're doing basketball now. So we do basketball. That goes over very well, and I said those were a lot easier to record because just baskets. That's all you need to do. Just baskets for 2 minutes, and then you're done. And then I get a call from Mr. Unson, and it says, "Hey, can you record the baseball team?" And I say, "Okay." So we go to the baseball team, and this is when I started realizing, okay, people really want to watch this. So it's at this point where I realized that, you know, Spartan Highlights was starting to grow, right? And that's why it was called Spartan Highlights in basketball, because, like, okay, well, now it's not just football, it's gonna be football and basketball. So, okay. So Spartan Highlights, the name starts in basketball. I felt like the popularity starts to rise when baseball comes around, because that's when most of the coaches had seen the videos at this point, and it was towards the end of baseball where I'm getting calls from Jalen, Candelaire, Coach Johnson, you know, all these different sports, whether it be soccer, hockey, lacrosse, just all these different sports trying to get in for another year of Spartan Highlights. And me and Irving, we sat down at the end of the year during our end of year conference, which we have done twice, one for year one and one for year two. And in the first conference, we discussed on what sports we cover next year. And he said he wanted softball to be covered next year, because he wanted some female sports to be covered, not just male sports. And I said, okay. And which was funny, because even though we had two female sports, softball and girls soccer, the male viewership actually went up after we implemented female sports. It was so surprising seeing how much support it got in its second year, because we got like, it was like double the views and about 1,000 more minutes in watch time compared to first year, which is honestly really amazing. And you know, the success of the second year Spartan Highlights shows, you know, how much you guys love the series and your support for the series, which I cherish a lot. So there you go. That's the kind of origin of Spartan Highlights, how it started as Spartan football, and it delved into the gigantic snowball effect that is the second season. So, and I understand that I am going on a lot of tangents, even going on tangents, saying I'm going on tangents, but it's when I talk about these kind of things, you know, specific memories come up, and you know, just some little side stories I think are interesting, and then before you know it, you're not on a side tangent. So before I get into a further side tangent, let's go into the next question. What are your future plans? Well, as far as the future plans are concerned, there's MCC, which I will be attending in late August, and that will be in TV and photo, or program VCO2, and that's going to be pretty interesting. Some of my Omoko guys are going to be coming back for that, and it's going to be great. and it's just gonna be a regular time at MCC, and the other plan is to go into the Rochester Film Festival. So right now I'm just working out ideas on what's gonna happen as far as the Rochester Film Festival is concerned, and I plan on working alongside Andrew Giorgetti, which we'll see how that works out. Will work out, time will tell, but hopefully I can get something out for the Rochester Film Festival, and hopefully it gets accepted and we can all watch it in April. So we'll see how that works out. And now for the big question that is on everybody's minds. Will there be a Spartan Highlight Season 3? I hope you're all sitting down for this, because this may not be exactly what you want to hear. And that is, Spartan Highlights will not be returning for the 2018 to 2019 season. So here's what happened. The conclusion was that because I won't be able to do it for free anymore, because for those who don't know, I never got paid to do Spartan Highlights, it was all volunteer, and I was very explicit with the Gay Child administration, saying, listen, I love doing this, but I cannot do it for free forever, because quite honestly it won't be financially sustainable. I am becoming an adult. I need to pay bills and gas and whole other things that life says I need to pay for. So I can't really do things for free, especially video. And with video being a very tedious and time-consuming process, doing it for free will not be sustainable. I will do side projects, for my own enjoyment or build a portfolio, but to do videos for others, unless it's a charity event like with Daniel's Race, I'll be continuing to work on the Daniel's Race video, which should be up and ready before the next race. But outside of that, I can't do it for free, because quite frankly it just wouldn't be sustainable. So in spite of that, I said, there are options, whether to hire me as a full-time employee at Gates Chalet and work on videos as an employee, or pay for projects, so I'll only work on the big events like Seniors vs. Faculty or Homecoming, or the other option that they were trying to lean on is to have a successor, which when I told some of my senior friends about this, they didn't really take it too lightly, especially with Spartan Highlights, because I remember one person, the quote-unquote king of 2018, Mr. Morrison, Mark comes up to me and he says, hey, are you doing Spartan Highlights next year? And I said, I don't know, they might get someone else. And he says, no, you have to create Spartan Highlights, and the school needs Spartan Highlights. So that kind of shows you, how much people love this series and how much they want me to continue that series. Kind of like Masahiro Sakurai in Super Smash Bros. Without Sakurai, is it really Smash Brothers? That it's kind of that kind of mentality. So, with that said, it's like, it just doesn't seem it's going to happen. So, but what they did say though is they will be considering putting Spartan Highlights or something of the like into the school budget. excuse me, and as I'll be hired to do 2 videos for the high school. Will it happen? We don't know. It's mostly just speculation, so I wouldn't get your hopes too high, but if it does happen, you'll be the first to know. Now with that said, although Spartan Highlights could return in a few years, maybe for the 2020-21 season or the 23-24 season, I don't know, or may not return at all. What will change permanently is the branding of this channel, for it will no longer be called GC Films. As of tomorrow, on June 21st, it will be called Horizon. And as I've said before on social media, I've been bouncing around on many different names. There's Wilson Studios, or WG Studios, or Spartan Cinema, things like that. But for the past day or so, I've been really liking this name, Horizon. So I think, okay, maybe Horizon Film Productions. That's where I think I'll head with as far as the name is concerned, because honestly, I think it's very fitting. It's an easy name to remember, and the idea of going beyond the horizon, I feel, will be a very fitting message for what the new studio, the new brand, I guess you can call it, will be about. It'll be me developing as a filmmaker and exploring new effects, new filmmaking techniques, new genres, just new everything. And I might even revisit some old ideas and try to make them even better, like Anthony's Delusional Days, for example, which, if you haven't seen that, it's a funny Womoko skit trailer thing where it's about me, who's pretty much going crazy because he's had all these weird hallucinations, but it's not because he had any drugs or he had a lack of sleep or anything like that. There's an external source that's causing the hallucinations, but he and his friends aren't aware of it. So it's a really funny skit. I'll put a link in the description if you want to see it, and I also might re-upload it onto this channel once it becomes Horizons. So with that said, I feel this new venture will be an interesting one, and I am very excited to see what the future has to offer. With MCC and the Rochester Film Festival. I want to end the video with some signatures. Now, this yearbook, I was passing it around to people, and you guys filled this up, and it is fantastic. I love every single message in here, and it is just great. So I'm going to be reading a few of these. I'm not going to read all of them because we'll be here all day, but I do want to read a couple to you because all the messages in here are very wonderful and are just amazing. Now, excuse me again. So now, for privacy concerns, I won't say the names of these people, but I will still read the messages because, as I said, they are great. And some of them are funny, so I'll read some of the funny ones too. Alright, first one. Anthony, we have been friends since kindergarten. What a journey it's been. I love you, buddy. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do anything, because I know you can do it. I will never forget the amazing person you are. Thanks for allowing me to go on YouTube and letting me relive my Spartan highlights. Much love. It's been a great senior year, and I'm very glad I could share it with you, especially with all the soccer fun and singing in the car. Good luck with your future. I'll always remember everything since T-ball till now. Thank you for recording us even though we were terrible. And just for a little bit of context, that was from one of the baseball guys. It's touching and funny at the same time. So thank you. I will probably see you again. I don't know. I got nothing to say. That's just funny. Okay, the next one is a little hard to read, but I think I have deciphered it. Anthony, although I may not get the chance to talk to you as much as I'd like to, truth be told, you're one of my biggest inspirations in life right now. You are a bright, charming, nerd-loving, something. Alright, not to... there's a lovely message here, but, you know, it's a little hard to read, though. Bright, charming, nerd-loving individual, and you always seem to have a smile on your face. You made me believe that pursuing my dreams is possible. You're gonna do some great things in the future. Although we may not see each other, just know I'll be cheering for you all the at every step of the way. Thank you for saying it, for saying what you wrote, and sorry for pushing it so badly. But there is a great message here, and I'll probably read this one a few more times just so it can sink in my head a bit better of what she wrote. But yeah, I'm glad that you see me as one of your biggest inspirations, as well as proving that dreams can come true, because they can. But the thing with dreams coming true is, you need what would be the best way to put it? You need some kind of perseverance when following your dream. And even then, what that dream is will likely change. So my philosophy is follow what you're good at, which may not be what your passion is. It was a lesson that PragerU preach, and as well as many famous people like comedian Steve Harvey preach, that every person is born with a talent, and that talent could be anything, and may not be a talent you even know you have yet. So try out some new things, and there's something that you're good at, see if you can make a career out of it. For me, I'm pretty sure my talent is video and editing, but who knows, maybe one day I will become a singer. I don't plan on becoming a singer, but you never know. My voice is crap right now, but maybe I'll be singing like Elvis tomorrow. Nobody knows. I don't think that's gonna happen, but this is 2018. Any feasible thing they can think of has already happened. So there you go. Let's go to the next quote here. I'm in love with you. And the supposed lover put down a phone number, but if you call this number, it actually goes to the superintendent. Me and the actual person who did write it, who kept quiet until the senior banquet about this, we called this number, and when we heard the superintendent's automated message, we were just cracking up so much. So, alright, we got some pranks in here. Alright. I don't mind too much, so let's go to the next one. Alright, this next one will also need a little bit of explanation. I'm gonna read it and I will explain it. Captain of the Window, Anthony. You've made economics fun. The rivalry between you and the Doors was fierce. Great job leading your squadron to victory over the ugly door jam. The videos and stories showcase your enthusiasm and passion for what you enjoy. I value that, and I will miss that in the future. I wish all of you the best for a bright future. Best wish and good luck. Alright, so now, for the explanation. Okay, this next one is going to need a little bit of explanation, so I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to explain it, because I don't think you guys are going to get this right off the bat. Captain of the Window. Anthony, you have made economics fun. The rivalry between you and the Doors was fierce. Great job leading your squadron to victory over the ugly door jam. The videos and stories showcase your enthusiasm and passion for what you enjoy, and I value that and will miss that in the future. I wish you all the best for a bright future. Best luck. Best wish, good luck. Sorry for the little butchering at the end. But anyways, what's this window and door thing that this guy's talking about? So, in economics with Mr. Marco, there was these two teams. Remember he did like a Jeopardy style game, or as he called it, Mr. Marco makes up the rules as he goes along. So we would do like really weird stuff like, okay, so to get to the question, you would need to give someone a piggyback ride around the perimeter of the room, or you have to figure out how to carry someone on your while you're on all fours to the desk, or what else? Or an arm wrestling contest, or it's a whole bunch of random stuff. That was one of the one of the things. So we do like things like that, little games like that, and there will always be two teams: Team Windows and Team Doors. So the student that sat near the windows were on Team Window, and the team that sat near the door was Team Doors. And each team developed a leader, unofficially, but we developed a leader. I was the captain of the windows, and Wyclef was captain of the doors. I forgot how we were decided to be the captains, but nevertheless, we were the captains. So, and my team would always beat the doors, and there was one funny story I remember at one of our victories against the doors, which was we were winning by around like 2,500 points, and the doors really wanted to win, and there was no more economics questions left. So we're like, no, we need one more chance. And Mr. Marco was like, okay. Alright, so Anthony, you come up, and you from doors, you come up. So it was me versus this girl. It wasn't Wyclef, who was captain of the doors, who, by the way, did actually sign the yearbook and signed it as captain of the doors, which was great. So anyways, it was me and this girl from the doors team, and he didn't have any more economics questions left. So he sat back, he's like, okay, you ready? You ready? Okay, so this one is worth, let's see, you're down 2,500 points. Okay, so this is worth 2,500 points. Okay, you ready for this? Who was the Japanese fighting mascot for Sega Saturn? And the girl was so confused. She was like, wait, what? And she was so startled, and I'm like going, it's Segata! And he was like, yeah, whatever he just said. And for context, for those who don't know, Sega de Santro is this kind of like this karate guy who will beat up anybody who won't play Sega Saturn, and is probably my favorite mascot of all time. And he's just really fun to watch. And I showed the commercials to Mr. Marco, and he thought they were funny too. So there you go. That's how the Segata question came up at the end of economics. And they already lost anyway, so it was just a troll question at the end. It's not like, oh, the game was going to continue afterwards. We were just done. It was the end of the period. So with that said, it was just a really fun time, with me and Wyclef pretending to have a feud, in economics, and even after economics, because economics was in the first semester, it was not in the second semester, I would still go up to Wyclef whenever I see him in the hallway and be like, well, if it isn't Captain of the Doors! And he would just go back to me and be like, oh, hi, Anthony. So, yeah, Captain of the Doors, if you're watching, I can still beat you at economics. But overall, hey, great game, Captain of the Doors, and hopefully there's some kind of successor, because I do want to see that rivalry go on with the seniors of tomorrow and the year after. So if anyone knows who the successors of the Captain of the Doors and the Captain of the Windows are, let me know. But with that said, let's go on to our next signature. Anthony, it's crazy to think that we're graduating this year. We've been friends since 8th grade. You've been an awesome friend for so long, and I know you'll achieve greatness. iPhones for the win! So, explain this last part here. There's a girl I know from high school, and she is hardcore Apple fan. Like she would give up the best PCs for a Mac, and I was very concerned about that because honestly, I feel that a lot of times, especially with Apple today, you know, a lot of the products can be ripoffs. Some people don't see that, and that's okay. But her dedication to Apple was concerning. So, and it was funny. Like I remember I had a conversation with her where I said, "Okay, so here are the specs for an iMac that costs $10,000, and here's a PC that's only $1,000, and has all these specs which are better than the iMac specs." And she's like, "Yes, I understand that the PCs are better, but Mac though, it's Mac, and I love Mac." At that point, I was like, "I'm done. I just showed you how much of a ripoff Apple can be, and you still want Apple. Whatever, but okay." So like whenever I was having a Christmas card or a birthday card, I would always sign it with as a Tony Wilson or Anthony Wilson and Bug Droid. And for those who don't know, Bug Droid is a mascot for Android, and she'll always shake her head whenever she sees Bug Droid on any of the cards. And even for graduation, because she was a class of 2018. Student as well. So on her graduation card, when I was invited to her graduation, also had Bug Droid. So Bug Droid will always live on some way or form whenever I talk to her. So now on to the next one. Dearest Wilson, it has been more of a pleasure knowing you throughout high school. Please always know that you are held a very high spirit in this class. Hot. Best of luck in the future. No. Anthony, you're gonna be a great filmmaker one day. Remember us little guys. Oh, that's nice. Funny and nice. I like that. Next one. Have a great summer. It was a pleasure getting to know you over the last year and a half. Make sure to invite me to Monica and yours wedding. Look, I know this has been a thing with all my buddies thinking I'm dating this AI that's very willing to kill other girls that try to date me, but believe me, it's not true whatsoever. And
a little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Monica by my side, a little bit of Monica's all I need.
We'll just go to the next one, okay? Can we do that? Let's just go to the next one here. Anthony, I seriously cannot think of anyone else who cares about this school more than you. You use your passion of video arts to make this whole school better, and you're seriously underrated. Thank you for contributing to Gate Shy High School in a meaningful way. Best of luck in the future. Anthony, thank you for capturing the best moments throughout the years. You have a bright future ahead of you. Thanks. Anthony, keep being you, man. You have an amazing personality and the world has big things in store for you. Thanks. Hopefully there are some big things, you know, it's gonna be pretty unpredictable, but, you know, hey. You know, hopefully some good opportunities come along, and hopefully the Rochester Film Festival actually goes out pretty well, so that's what I'm banking on. Anthony, I look forward to your first feature film. Alright, I'll let you know when that happens. Hopefully I can get you a discount at Cinemark. Okay, this one is going to be the last one, because if I continue, this is going to go on all day. So, this last one here. And you were one of the highlights of my high school career. Always lit up my day. Have a great summer, man, and keep doing videos. You have a bright future. And there are many more signatures of the like, and I have read all of them multiple times, and it's just been amazing. So thank you all for your amazing comments, the amazing 2 years of Spartan highlights, and here is to Horizon, the new brand, or at least the brand will be right now. Will the name change? It's possible, but at the moment, I'm really liking the name Horizon. So, although GC Films, by technicality, will be no more, all the videos will still be up. So if you want to watch Spartan highlights, you can watch Spartan highlights so long that YouTube is still around. And with that said, thank you guys for watching. And here's to Horizon Film Productions.